Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
$168.
168.
Oh, man. Another week, another episode. So we're going to be back on Saturday. We weren't supposed to go Saturday. We are going to cancel that reservation, but then we decided you needed a fix, even though you went earlier this week. So, yep, we're going back, and that means we still got the wallet to give away, the Disney Princess wallet.
Yeah, because no one came up to me when I went.
Yep, Tracy had it. So all you have to do is find us on September 24th at either park, anywhere on Disney property. Come up to us, say, hey, are you Rope Dropping Knowledge? Do you have anything for us? And if you're the first one to do so, you get the Disney Loungefly Princess wallet. We also have our September giveaway still going on. That is the Loungefly Hocus Pocus backpack. Miniature-sized backpack. And all you have to do is direct message us via Facebook, Instagram, on the blog with the backpack picture, or our email, info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. If for each one you do, you get an additional entry. What do you love or hate about Halloween? Answer that question, and you get a chance to win the backpack. Must be 18 years or older, live in the United States. And this particular contest ends on...
Saturday.
Ooh, this is Saturday.
Oh, this Saturday?
Yeah, because it's the last Saturday of the month. So the 24th. We'll be at Disney, but we'll be doing a drawing on the 25th at random. But it ends, 11:59 p.m. on Saturday, September 24th. Okay. And we'll be doing another Halloween-themed giveaway next month. So, more Halloween to come. All right. So, you went to Disney without me again.
Oh, you want to talk about that first? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we would talk about D23 thoughts.
Nope.
No? Oh, okay. I went with my sister. Her pass is expiring soon, and she's not going to renew. She has the SoCal pass, the Imagine, I think it's called.
So sorry, pass.
So the Imagine pass. So it expires in November. So we went. We had a chill day though because we couldn't sleep the night before.
Well, you were that excited?
No, I think she had coffee later in the day, and it was strong Vietnamese coffee. And then for me, I can never sleep when I'm not in my own bed, because I was at my mom's house. So we figured the next time we'll go, we'll just get there late. And then just stay later, Anyways, so it was cool. I got to try all these food that you wouldn't try with me, so that my sister was willing to try. But even then, she was like, that's too sweet or too rich or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll talk about one during Taste Talk. But so, yeah, the food I tried was really good. So I'll talk about one later, like I said. And then we started in DCA, and it wasn't a lot of people in DCA. But by the time we went over to Disneyland at about 2 o'clock, it was packed.
Really?
Yeah, it was crowded. And it was an Oogie Boogie day. So.
Because it was Tuesday, right? Tuesday.
Yeah, it was Tuesday.
Okay.
It was an Oogie Boogie day, too. So DCA closes at 6. And yeah, I thought there was more people. It's fine if there's more people, but there were a lot of kids. And I'm like, do you have school? Are you all homeschooled now? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, it's weird because Disney's supposed to be for kids. I mean, not only for kids, but I'm more surprised when I don't see that many kids. Like at Oogie Boogie, I mean, we didn't talk about it last week during the Oogie Boogie breakdown, but one of the things, some people have asked is like, well, how is it for kids? I'm like, there really weren't any kids. It was literally, I was counting. So what I would do is I would sit down and I would count just like groups of people.
Yeah.
Right. And it turned out, and this is anecdotal, obviously,
Yeah.
because it depends on where you are at any given time, but I did like twice. And I would count like for every one kid, there were like 10 adults.
Yes, Oogie Boogie had a lot of adults.
Yeah.
And I think I see why, because it's not really a Princess Mickey mini event. It's more like villains and after, like, nighttime.
Right.
But on a weekday, that's not the summer or not holiday. I didn't expect kids to be there.
Yeah.
A lot of kids.
That's true. Especially, because they're still in school right now. So
Yeah, that's why I was like, do they have school? But then also there were a lot of out-of-towners, out-of-staters, out-of-country. There were some, European-looking family. I knew they didn't look American.
You look European.
I knew they weren't American. So then, like, we were at the Golden Horseshoe, and the piano man is back. The performance is back. And he was, like, polling people who's here from California. There's a few of us. And then, where is everyone else from? Anyone from out of the country? And people were yelling out Canada, Chile, Argentina. So there were a lot of, maybe their school system is different with the kids. The whole family was there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it is kind of. Their summer's like beginning, I think, right? Something close to that. If you're south of the equator. So I don't know. Well, Canada's not south of the equator.
But maybe they have their, like, holiday, Thanksgiving, their own Thanksgiving. I don't know.
Who knows?
Whatever. But anyways, we were just surprised at how crowded it was with a lot of kids and stuff.
Yeah, for Tuesday, that is kind of weird.
Yeah, that was weird. But in DCA, it was fine. We got there at 9, and Web Slingers was 30 minutes. So we just stood in line.
Yeah.
Well,
then what did you do? Did you hit any major rides, or did you?
Radiator Springs was closed the whole day.
Ooh.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
It was down the whole day. We did go on Luigi's Rockin', but it's the Halloween themed one.
Oh yeah.
So that was fun. That was only, it said 5 minutes, but I think it's more 10.
Yeah. It's the Happy Halloween one.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah. We were at Avengers Campus after Web Slingers, and we got some PhotoPass photos taken. There's me with the Doctor Strange thing.
And then her with the Scarlet Witch thing.
Yeah.
No, I thought those pictures turned out pretty good.
Yeah. And then, where you stand, where Symphony Swings are, you get a free sticker pad.
Oh, yeah.
For Magic Key holders. They said it's not till 1 o'clock, but we passed by at 12 and we saw people in line. And so we just stood in line and got that. I mean, there was no line. We just saw people there. And so we're like, oh, it's open now. I think they said 1 for the park hoppers, but if you're already there, you could just grab one. It's in celebration of, I think it was the Coco, what's it called? The Familia? The Coco area.
Oh, Plaza Familia,
yes,
whatever.
Plaza de la Familia.
Yeah.
So it's in celebration of, I think, Hispanic Heritage Month. And so they gave, the stickers were Coco and stuff like that. So that was fun. And then there's a magic shot that they gave away. Oh, Hispanic Heritage Month stickers. Yes. But this is only until October 5th, so make sure you stop by if you're a Magic Key holder.
That's pretty cool. Yep. Anything else that day?
We did Inside Out. We did. We didn't go on Toy Story Mania because since most stuff was closed down, that had like an 80-minute wait.
Yeah, it makes all the rest of the lines longer.
Yeah. So then we went over to Disneyland to try some treats. My sister bought a Turning Red journal.
Did it turn red?
It's a fuzzy journal. It's fuzzy. It's the panda.
Oh, the cover's fuzzy.
Yeah, the cover's fuzzy,
So
and
you
then
can pet the journal.
and then the tail is where you use the tail to close it, to button it up. I'll tell her to send me a picture so that everyone can see it. So, She got that, and then yeah. Oh, we checked out Tiana's Eudora's Chic Boutique.
Yeah, I think that's what people are waiting for you to talk about.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, it was cool. It was what you said. It was mostly like home stuff, like kitchen and home stuff. But then there were some Tiana like dresses, like Tiana inspired dresses, ears.
What do the ears look like?
They look like just the color of the princess and the frog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And there is one thing I wanted from there, but my sister told me it was expensive. But, she says everything's expensive. Because we thought it was two for $10 because it's these little lobster things.
Like their dishes?
Yeah, they're dishes. And
are they spoon holders or just...
No, they're just little dishes. And then I picked it up, but they were stuck together. So I thought they were 2 for $20, a pack of 2. And my sister's like, "Oh, that's cheap, get it." And then I realized they were stuck together. I'm like, "Just kidding. It's 20 for 1. She's like, "Oh no, that's expensive. Don't get it." So that's but I think they're cool. You need to buy 2, right? Because it's for 2 people. Like if we were eating
oh yeah, so it'd be $40
fish or something. Yeah. But I wanted that. But yeah, and there were ears and dresses. These are the ears.
Was it crowded?
Not at all. Because it's a Tuesday, and I think because it's a tourist day, most people didn't know.
Oh.
What's special about this shop? They just think it's another shop in New Orleans Square.
Yeah, so...
The only people who were in there were, content creators, because I ran into the Calabay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I said hi. He was filming, so...
It's funny. Yeah, it's weird, how pass holders in Florida, Magic Key holders in California, they know all the stuff and they get excited.
Yeah.
But to some normal people are just
there were some these cups and this little honey thing. And I was like, "Oh, how cute." And my sister told me, "Oh, you can see that. You can find that at TJ Maxx for cheaper."
Was there exact same thing?
Yeah, she's like, "I saw those at TJ Maxx." She didn't say it out loud because she didn't want to offend anyone, but she's like, "Those are in TJ Maxx." And I was like, "Oh, really?" Yeah. So these things, these plates and stuff.
Oh, those are cool.
I've seen them at Home Goods.
Yeah.
I think this was cool. But anyways, and then the flatware that you already got me, so.
Yeah, they probably wanted to just open it because they had it. Once they have a building done,
yeah,
they open it. But I think the specialized stuff is probably going to come later because they have to have stuff made. They got to see how popular the shop is. So
they do have some New Orleans inspired stuff here. I kind of want this T-shirt. It says beignets on it, and it has a beignet. I think it says beignet day or something. So. Stuff like that is cute. And then I only filmed the items in the store, but actually there were some people who filmed the decor around the store, and it was all decked out as if it was, you were at a little boutique in New Orleans. Like a Mardi Gras type of theme. So I thought that was fun. But I had a chill day. I think the next time we go, we'll do more of a Genie Plus type of thing.
I'm trying to think. When does because hers the pass doesn't run out till November or something, right?
Yeah, November 10th. So we're gonna go October 5th.
Pretty good. Well, you'll be going on your technically new pass.
Yeah, she tried to make a reservation for me for October 5th, and she's like, "I don't know why, but you're blocked out the rest of the month or whatever. You're blocked out all the days in October." And I'm like, "What?" So, but she didn't know that she had to, you were telling me you had to click 2 buttons, one button under your old pass and one button.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Let me see." And then she's like, "See?" And I was like, "Oh, you have to click this button." She didn't know that, so.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. All right, let's get into headlines.
Headlines. Okay. So last week we talked about D23 and we didn't have time. We kind of went over and we didn't have time to give our thoughts on those D23 announcements. And I guess a lot of people are disappointed by these announcements. So the disappointments were the announcements were more like concept announcements, and there were no real dates given out on these new projects. For example, we talked about DCA turning into San Francisco.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then, the whole Portos thing and all that stuff. But it was just enough to hold people over, like, to get people excited. But no real concrete dates on these, and people were more like waiting for, what about the Tomorrowland overhaul? What about the Tarzan Treehouse? What are you doing with all this? You said you were going to close Tomorrowland and do a whole overhaul, and they were expecting some announcements like, is Space Mountain really going to be, the Lightyear Mountain or whatever they said? Mm-hmm. So they wanted more concrete announcements, like, on this date, this is what's going to happen, and this will be besides the Tiana's new ride, those had kind of real dates. Mm-hmm. But other than that, these were all just stuff to get people excited, to hold them over. But they were comparing it to, there's like, are you really not going to react to Universal's Epic World or whatever? Like, this is, and then all the nighttime spectacular that's coming back, those were already there. They're just announcing that it's coming back. So people weren't like impressed, I guess, and they were disappointed in the lack of, all of these concrete type of announcements.
And then the media content creators were disappointed, like, no Fantastic Four stuff, no.
I thought they did announce that. Like, they confirmed it, but
kind of. They actually made a bigger announcement just yesterday that they actually have a director, right?
Oh.
But that wasn't even at D23.
Right.
And then there was some other stuff, they thought they would give more of, like Deadpool, X-Men stuff, they didn't really do any of that. But then again, I'm always thinking about, like, okay, well, who would, I don't know. As far as major announcements, I guess it's, if you're looking at the vision of Disney the way it is, favorables versus unfavorables. I think if you are a favorable, all those things were pretty big news, right?
Yeah.
If you're an unfavorable who's kind of like deep into Disney, those things were just kind of like stuff that you either already knew about or you wanted more concrete data,
Yeah.
But, but I'll just take, first thing, for one of the things that, I don't know, and I guess these kind of relate to each other, but we're going into a recession. Mm-hmm. And, some people always say we already are in a recession or whatever. I just don't, like, this week, the Fed hiked interest rates, like, just blasted them up, right? Mm-hmm. And what does that mean to companies like Disney? Well, I don't think they want to give out concrete dates on things because the way a lot of businesses work is you don't actually. I think a lot of people think that, like, okay, Disney made, let's say Disney made like, $1 billion last quarter. Mm-hmm. So they have like $1 billion in the bank, and then they're going to use that $1 billion to build the next Avengers ride or to finance the next movie. Mm-hmm. It's not how it works.
Yeah.
Businesses borrow money to make these things. They don't use the money that's in their bank.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they usually, if the money's in their bank, they'll use it to partially finance something maybe, or they use it as collateral to borrow money. But you typically, the way you make money is you borrow money and then, hopefully at a low interest rate, and then you build it, and by the time you finish paying it back, the project that you invested money in is kind of paying for itself. Mm-hmm. That's how you kind of make money in the business world. And with interest rates shooting up, it kind of, even though a company like Disney is still going to get better rates than like a normal person, it still makes the cost of things more. Right now, first of all, just building things is going to be more because of inflation. The reason why inflation exists is because there's too much money in the markets already, right? Mm-hmm. When they were giving away stimulus checks, when they were, student loan being on hold, that people have a lot of money, but when you have too much money, the dollar rises. The more you have of something, the less it's worth.
Yeah.
Right. That's, people, I think, understand that. So the reason the Fed raises interest rates is to make things more expensive. Not to make things more expensive, but to make money harder to get.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
Yes.
And so that would bring down prices. Inflation makes prices go up. And then you raise interest rates to make prices come down. But when prices come down, it hurts people because, you have more layoffs. People, growth, it slows growth, right? That's why you'll see, housing prices where there wasn't any housing on the market like 6 months ago. Now there's a lot of housing, but a lot of people don't want to buy them because the interest rates went up. Because now houses are, even though they're more plentiful and they are less expensive, like their list prices are not as expensive, to get the money to actually finance a house is more expensive. So your monthly payments would still going to be higher.
Yeah.
So that affects everything. And so if Disney is waiting for the best time to like borrow money to make some of these projects a reality, they're probably going to say, well, let's, this whole thing, if they're looking at all these projects that they've announced, but they don't have a date on, they're probably saying, if we do it right now, we're looking at like $26 billion.
Yeah.
If we wait a year and then buy that money, maybe that drops to like, $21 billion.
Right. And they're only in the infancy stages of these projects. So it's, the first step is just to announce it.
Yeah.
That this is on our docket or whatever.
Right. And, because once, the first nail goes in, then they could probably have a due date. But until that happens, they're like, well, we're not going to give a date because we don't want to have to change it.
Everything that you said, nowhere in there would they ever consider, oh my God, Universal's building a new park. What do we do now? Like, I don't think that's even in their mind.
That's
Maybe
not how
it is, but not how they think.
I think, people, I think people, again, it's not like two lemonade stands across the street from each other. It's not. That's not how business works either. How are you going to respond to Universal? It's like,
what do you have lined up to combat the new Epic Park in 2025? I mean, there's announcements of all these things at Disney World, like the new Encanto and Coco, confirmed at the Magic Kingdom, Zootopia coming to Dino Land and all that. People are excited, but I think the complaint is, okay, like, are you going to say it's going to be in 2025 to combat the Universal Park or whatever? But I don't think that's how Disney operates and thinks.
I don't think that's how any business operates. I mean, when opening, there are certain things in certain industries where, yes, like, so if AT&T gets 6G, Verizon better get 6G, right? Because that's actually a household, an everyday product that you're using that's going to affect your life.
Yeah.
But a theme park opening new lands that's only a few miles from your theme park, that's not necessarily competition the way we would think of it. Because
I think how they thought of it is Universal's opening a new theme park.
Right.
That whole, not even a land, it's a new park.
Whatever, land, park. I mean, it's not like people who are going to go to Disney are going to be like, oh, we're going to now go to Universal. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Competition doesn't work like that for every business. For some businesses, it does.
Yes.
Like if you have Kentucky Fried Chicken and somebody opens a Popeyes across the street, okay, maybe, there's
even
direct competition.
Different.
yeah, and even that's going to be a little different, but at least that's more like of a direct competition thing
than the other thing.
People who go to Disney want to go to Disney. People who go to Universal want to go to Universal. What's going to happen is that maybe more people are going to want to go to Orlando, period, and then it's going to actually increase Disney's revenue as well.
Right.
Because if somebody
is already there in Orlando,
if somebody says, we're going to spend a week in Orlando, they're going to say, okay, well, I want to check out some of that new stuff in our Universal, and maybe we'll spend 2 days at Disney, right? I don't think it takes away from people who are already planning to go to Disney or people who are already Disney fans. So, I don't think it's direct competition. And if you act like it's direct competition, then are you really the market leader? You know, I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's why, you know, we just, you know, for International Wife Appreciation Day, you got a new iPhone.
I don't see Google panicking because
Not panicking, but I mean, it's one of those things where, and I didn't even know it was International Wife Day when we got to the phone. It's just that Tracy she's been taking a lot more pictures and doing a lot more social media than I have. So, and when we got the iPhone 12, basically she just got the basic 12.
Yeah, I just got the basic one.
And I got the Pro Max, even though I take less videos and pictures. So I was like, you know, let's upgrade your phone. I didn't even upgrade mine. That's how magnanimous I am. but I guess what I'm saying about Apple is that a lot of the features that come out in iPhones have already been done in Samsung and other Google phones years ago.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't care if they're the first ones to do something.
Yeah.
Because they're Apple.
Yeah.
You know?
Or if they're the second ones or the last ones.
They don't care.
They're the last ones.
They don't care because they know that Apple people are Apple people.
Right.
You're not going to you're going to have to come out with something like, you know, space travel, you know, teleportation.
Space travel phone.
Yeah, something to pull an Apple person away from Apple.
Yeah.
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
So I don't get I don't understand the disappointment. I mean, Disney can just stay the way they are and you guys will all go buy your annual passes and go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
So I don't understand these disappointments that people are, you know, voicing.
Yeah.
And the lack of reaction to Epic World. You're comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah. Apple.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's that's just not the way it works. And so if they did, it wouldn't be Disney. It would be, you know, I don't know. Knott's Berry Farm would be competition then. What are you going to do about Knott's Berry Farm's ticket prices? They're so low. Aren't you going to lower yours? No. The thing that JPEG said is that no matter what we do, we can't keep up with demand.
Yes.
They're trying to price people out, and they can't.
They can't.
You know, they want to make the park less crowded and more enjoyable, and by raising prices, no matter how much they raise their prices, demand still outpaces them.
Yep.
So they're not worried about Universal. They're not worried about pretty much anything else.
Nope.
Like I said, Disney is basically, it's not exactly like they're in competition with themselves. They're in competition with other things like sports. And like if a recession hits, it's going to affect Universal and Disney probably at the same ratio, probably Universal even more.
Yeah.
Because people are going to say, oh, we can't afford to go to theme parks, period.
Yeah.
You know, but Disney people are going to be like, we have to go to Disney less. You see the difference?
Yes.
When you have to choose between, you know, kids' soccer, cheerleading, and gymnastics, you know, versus Disney, that's what Disney's competing with. Mm-hmm. They're competing with things that actually affect your lives more directly. Mm-hmm. They're not competing with other theme parks.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and with the recession, you know, interest rate hikes, they're not going to give you any definite dates or even any approximate dates because they're waiting themselves. Mm-hmm. They you know, it takes a lot of money, even for their smaller products. Even to open like Tiana's mom's store, that was probably like $1 million. You know what I mean? I mean, probably, maybe not, but I mean, the planning, when you think about everything that goes into it and then like ordering stuff and then theming.
The decor, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a lot of money, you know, just for that little thing. So when you're talking about big rides, new attractions, rethemings, like, yeah.
Entire lands.
You're
like,
yeah.
especially in Disney World.
You're talking about hundreds of millions, maybe billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So
all they can do is tell you that the nighttime shows, the fireworks shows are coming back. They're redoing World of Color.
Yeah.
But those are the only definite things they can give you. But other things are, just be lucky they announce something. Just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, I can get some disappointment because people get their expectations high. But, you know, I think there's always going to be good things that come. But either way, none of these things were around the corner. Yeah. So, all right.
Well, except Tarzan's treehouse. We don't know why it's still blocked off and cut off. They cut the tree out. Like, it's out. It's gone.
Yeah.
So, but Oh, well, when it's there, it's there. Okay. So it looks like Bob Chapek told investors that he'd love to get it to a point sooner than later where Disney can integrate with Hulu.
Yeah.
Or can integrate Hulu into Disney Plus.
Right. So basically, that just makes sense. I mean, they already got the package deal with the Disney Plus, the Hulu, and the ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
They're trying to reduce that. Hulu is one of those things that's just an extra bill for people. I mean, we have it, but it's kind of like, there's just some shows on there that you can only get on Hulu, and
I mostly just watch documentaries.
Yeah. But it makes sense to just integrate them. You already have adult stuff on Disney Plus now.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So you might as well just package the whole thing.
Yeah, that's why I thought that they would put the Daredevil stuff in on Hulu.
Right.
Instead of Disney Plus.
But here's the thing, and this is what a lot of people don't know, is that Hulu is still 38% are owned by Comcast. And so I think when they started announcing they wanted to do this merger, Comcast is like, well, no, maybe we'll just buy the rest of Hulu. Maybe we'll just do this, And so...
But they have 38% still minority.
Still minority, but it doesn't mean you can just be Disney Plus, Because they definitely don't want Comcast on 38% of Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be 38%. It'd be whatever percentage Hulu takes out plus 38% of that. But, yeah. And I think Comcast just messes with Disney. They do things. There's like a lot of deals where they increase the bidding. And so like... when Disney purchased Fox, all the Fox properties, remember it was supposed to be, I forget what it was. It was, I think it was like 30 to 40 billion initially, something like that. And then Comcast said, no, we want to try to buy Fox stuff. And then Disney ends up purchasing it for like 70 billion.
Oh.
A lot of people's conspiracy is that Comcast just messes with Disney to make them spend more money.
They're like the people who at the auction who wants the other people. So they kept bidding so that the other person can pay more.
Right. Yeah. It's a pretty good strategy.
Calls their bluff and be like, okay. And it's like, oh, just kidding, we can't afford it.
Yeah. And they could do that, But the thing is that the last price that Disney offered is like, hey, that's what you can afford. And so either way, it costs money. And Comcast is huge. It's huge. And there's a lot of stuff that Comcast is doing. I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people think Disney's a big evil corporation. Comcast is evil. They're bigger and more evil.
Disney has some magic and they work with kids.
Look, you want to... A lot of people complain about their stepdad. You try Comcast. That's like, whoa, boy, that's the wicked stepmom in Cinderella. So
maybe their CEO used to be the CEO of a tobacco company.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say
Marlboro or whatever that company is called.
Comcast is a monster. So, and anyway, I think it's interesting because Comcast is just constantly like messing up Disney's game, throwing salt.
Everyone's trying to. Even Sony's trying to do that.
Yeah. Well, Sony for different reasons though. Sony actually thinks that they could be Disney, and they can't. It's like. Sony's like Fredo and The Godfather, right? It's like they're not smart enough to be Michael. Smart. They just keep messing it up. They really try. Like they're not really bad people, but you kind of wish someone would just take them out back and whack them. Comcast is actually, they're actually the people who could actually get to Michael. You know what I mean? they're the guys you have to get at church. they're equal. So yeah, it's funny, and I it always puts Disney on the game, and it's going to be companies like Comcast. There's not too many of them, but you're going to see that. Yeah, it's Comcast. It's going to keep Chapek awake at night. Companies like that, not Universal.
Epic
Epic World. Yeah.
I don't think Disney's losing any sleep over Epic World.
No.
Like you said, hey, it's going to help us because if people going to Orlando and they're going to Epic World, they're going to stop by Disney World.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, anyways. So, I forgot to talk about the one security guard cast member that me and my sister were impressed with. My sister's like, I was shook. So so we were, at the security guard who checked our bags, and then he was checking my sister's bag, and he's like, oh, Totoro. And, that's the Sanrio character. Mm-hmm. And we were surprised he knew who that was already. But then we figured, he's seen millions of kids probably, or people walk by here and check their bags, and he probably knows who Totoro is. It's as popular as Hello Kitty. Right. Mm-hmm. But then he starts going on about this is what you should do. And like he was like demonstrating the cartoon or whatever. I don't know what he was doing, but my sister understood what he was saying. But he's an older guy. He's like somebody's grandpa. So anyways, and then he saw her Hello Kitty tattoo. He's like, oh, zombie Hello Kitty. That's so cool. Whatever. Then my sister had an RJ clip on. Now, for those of you who don't know, RJ is Jin from BTS. So each BTS member has their own cartoon character. And RJ, I don't even know what animal that is. It's like a bear maybe or a llama. I don't know. Anyways, she had an RJ hair clip on. And so she turns around. He's like, oh, you have RJ on your head. And that's when we were both like, whoa. So, I'm sure you guys don't know what that means, but he did. And so we were just shook. So this is how magical even security guards are at Disneyland. Like, we weren't even on the trams yet. We were getting our bags checked, and we were already, my sister was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. So we thought he was really cool.
Speaking of cast members.
Yes, speaking of cast members, we recently heard. So there's this drama that was going on, for the last month, where a cast member from Downtown Disney posted a TikTok on how rude this customer was to her. And this customer happens to be a popular TikToker. Popular, meaning maybe 80,000 followers on TikTok. Mm-hmm. And she just thought it was rude because this person goes on and her TikTok about how you should be nice to cast members and all this stuff. So the lady was yelling at her, being rude. So it led to something where, because it's TikTok, and TikTok people are getting to be like Reddit people, where when you do something wrong, and especially with Disney cast members, people are very protective of them. So people started flooding this TikToker with messages, I don't know with what, but with comments and messages on how you're so rude, blah, blah. How can you be talking about love class members when you're so blah, 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 whatever. And then I told you that. Mm. Did someone just knock on? Oh, sorry, we had to pause for a second. Somebody knocked on a door. Package delivery. Anyways, where was I? Okay, so yeah. So when I told you about this, I showed you the video of the cast member talking about her day and getting yelled at by the TikToker or whatever. And you said, ooh, she might get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because this is it's like if I had worked someplace and complained about a customer, right? It's not good for the employer or the company you're working for if you're complaining about customers.
Right.
And I was like, but she shouldn't be rude to her, blah, blah, blah. You're like, I don't know, she might get in trouble. And turns out, I think a couple days ago, we found out that cast member did get fired.
Yeah.
But what happened was the TikToker then got so much hate that she posted an apology video. She blocked the cast member, but then she unblocked her so that the cast member can see her apology video. And I watched the apology video, and it wasn't really an apology. Well, it was, I'm sorry you feel that way kind of tone. She even sounded mean apologizing, So I was like, oh, I can see how the cast member was upset at her. Anyways, she apologized, but then she went and reported the cast member to Disney. Saying, hey, look at this TikTok kind of thing. And so that's how the cast member got fired.
Yeah.
At least that's the story I've read.
Yeah.
The drama or whatever that I've read.
So, yeah. And a lot of people they sided with the cast member. And again, before I got in HR, I probably sided with the cast member too. Mm-hmm. But when you're complaining about customers, you're not really hurting the customer as much as you're hurting your company, right? Because it's basically like, oh, I don't want to go to a place. Well, first of all, you're speaking for your company.
Yes.
So if she would have just said like, hey, my name, this is my TikTok, and she didn't associate with Disney or Starbucks or anything, and she was just talking about, hey, a customer is rude to me today. Yeah, I think that's fair game. But when you put in either the video itself, or you identify as somewhere on your site or page as an employee of a particular company, and then you start speaking out about the things that go on in that company. Sometimes people get fired even for saying things that they consider positive, because
you're not supposed to.
Yeah, because you're representing the company on your personal time, and you're choosing to do so. And, because I've seen it in other places where somebody didn't get like a tip that they thought that was big enough, right, at a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
So and this is a better example, I would say, to where people may understand. So let's say you owned a restaurant, and you're trying to get in the restaurant business. It's tough, right? It's hard to. That is direct competition. This is not like Disney versus Universal Epic Park or whatever. This is direct competition, and anybody could go to a restaurant right around the corner. There's probably hundreds in your city. So customers are very, very valuable to you, even the ones who might not be that nice.
Yeah.
And if one of your wait staff goes on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, and says, hey, I work at this restaurant, and this person, ordered $500 worth of stuff, and they gave me like a $30 tip, like how cheap? Well, okay, that might be true, right?
Yeah.
But then
it's bagging on the customer.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to go to that restaurant to get bagged on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, why are they shaming this customer? Maybe that there's going to be different opinions on it. The point is, the only thing I want for my business is positive opinions. I don't want. I don't care if like half the people on your TikTok agree with you and hate that customer. I'm trying to get new customers. Period.
Right.
So I can pay the rent, so I can keep my kids in college or whatever it is. So, and
then especially if your customer's gonna get harassed for it. Like she got hateful comments, whatever. That
even is another place. So then, because that customer could go on and be like, dude, I went to your restaurant. And first of all, it's she said, right? So that customer could be like, that's not true. I wasn't rude at all, or that I gave her. What if that customer goes and says, you know what? No, I gave a $50 tip, or I gave a $120 tip or whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened in this case is she said, but we always know that you're always nice to cast members no matter what, right? Because it's
she did apologize, but she didn't necessarily admit guilt. So to me, it's like, okay, maybe she was rude, maybe she wasn't rude. I don't. The question is that professional, right?
No.
To go and complain about a customer.
Yeah, no. None of them were professional.
Unless the customer was actually cursing at you and stuff and yelling at you. I think that's just life. Like, I'm in HR, I've had people that we've had to discipline or whatever, many jobs that I've had, and it's not always a good day. What I mean? I'm not going to go on Facebook and post their names and be like, you know what? This person.
This one right here. Especially someone who's popular, right? That has 80,000 eyes on her.
Yeah.
But it's a lose-lose. Unfortunately, the cast member got terminated. And unfortunately, the TikToker is no longer comfortable enough to turn on comments because they're all going to be hateful comments. Like, like that. Because her TikTok is all about being nice to cast members. Right. Like, there were several videos of her complaining about witnessing other people being rude to cast members. So that's why the irony.
Yeah.
And So she doesn't turn on comments anymore. Her views are down. No more likes, like maybe 5 likes, or whatever, where before she gets thousands,
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate for both sides. I mean, I think the cast member will move on and get another job, but I don't think the TikToker will become TikTok famous anymore.
It's kind
Unless
of
she changes her name and identity totally, but I mean, you can recognize that.
It's kind of weird
face.
that people. I mean, I guess not weird, but I don't know. It's hard because some people just do TikToking and social media stuff for fun.
And some people it's their livelihood. So I hope it's not her livelihood where she, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if TikTok pays you or
not
something.
really. No.
Oh, okay.
Not TikTok. I mean, she might have other outlets though, so who knows?
Yeah, she did. She is popular enough where she got to go to D23 and do all those media preview things.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I could see both sides of it. I generally, just as a person, not as a content creator, not as anything, it's just, I don't yell or do anything to staff.
You know that everybody is short-staffed right now. So you know you're going to have to wait an extra 5, 10, 20 minutes for your coffee. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So just wait. I mean, you waited 2 hours for a ride.
I went to get breakfast. Remember Sunday I went to get breakfast for us, and then I went there and it was swamped at the restaurant, and this lady kept apologizing. I'm like, no, I get it.
Yeah.
It's like, don't worry about it. I mean, it's, and I had to wait. Yeah, I had to wait, maybe 10 minutes longer than I quote unquote should have. Like I had I'm entitled to those 10 minutes somehow. But I mean, it's not. I know that nobody's intentionally trying to make me wait.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is. And I can understand if you're frustrated and you're having a bad day, but yeah, don't take it out on people who are just trying to serve you.
They're just working there.
It's working.
Like even, I know I always talk about Campia, but even John Campia, who did not get into D23 or whatever, he was super nice to the people who told him he couldn't get in. Yeah. Because he said it's not their fault. They're just volunteers. Maybe they're even volunteers, at conventions.
A lot of them are.
He's like, they're just volunteers, or I don't know, maybe they're getting paid, but they just work there. So I wasn't mean to them. I was super nice to them, but he was just mad at Disney's marketing people or whatever, the media people.
Yeah, the communication.
So even he couldn't get into something that he that's his livelihood, but he was still super nice to the volunteers outside or whoever.
Yeah. Yeah. And also though, be careful if you are trying to make a living or just trying to be a big social media influencer, like just know that, okay, regardless of how much you make, or if you make anything at all, you're trying to be a celebrity. So people are going to hold you to celebrity standards. And so
that is part of it. I think that's part of the reason why that TikToker got so much hateful messages and stuff, because I think a lot of people the messages that I read, some of them as an example of why are they so mad at her? It's like, fine, she apologized. But I think it's because they are mad at the fact that she got to do all these, be the first to experience all these things. Mm-hmm. And you're rude to a cast member.
Yeah.
Like, you know how last week I was complaining about Villains Row? So it's kind of like that, they're already like at these influencers. And so now they're just,
Yeah, because you get the privileges of being an influencer and your whole channel is about being nice to cast members, and yet somebody says you're rude to cast member. And again, I don't know if she was rude or not. I don't know if that was just perception. I don't know if the cast member...
But people just hold you to a different
But you're going to be held to a different standard if you put yourself out there. We have plenty of friends who could easily, and some who are influencers, and they make an effort to kind of separate the influencer personalities from their private life, right? And then we have some who choose not to be, who could easily be influencers, and they're like, no, they got cute kids, they got stuff, they got a lot of stuff that they could, do, and they're just like, no, it's not, it's just not worth the bank's not worth the buck or whatever you say. It's just not worth it. It's like, for what? Free tickets here and there, maybe, and it's like, you got to be careful with that. And it's, people are going to hold you to a different standard and fame. If you're doing it for fun, I think that's fine
that's
because then you can
different.
just shut it down. It's like, whatever.
Yeah. And you're not making money from it, whatever. You're just, doing it for fun.
Right. But if you're just out there because you think you weren't hugged enough as a kid or something and and this is your identity, it's like you're going to get, it's like, that one couple where people just started hating on them, because if that's your identity, I don't know if I want.
That's because that's their identity.
I don't want my identity to be tied to Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah,
that's not. If rope dropping knowledge went away today,
we're fine.
We're doing the same thing. We're still going to Disneyland Saturday. We're still doing it.
We'll just talk to each other and not record it. We're still having the same conversation. Like we said that one time when we first started, even if Dole Whip Float was our only listener, we'll still record just for her.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is,
Because we're doing it for fun.
We're doing it for fun.
We're not doing it to make money or anything.
Yeah. And it's just that we don't see ourselves as, we would never be at a function or something and introduce ourselves as, we're rope dropping knowledge.
Hi, I'm Tracy from Rope Dropping Knowledge.
Like the Simpsons guy, Troy McClure. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may know me from films like Rope Dropping Knowledge and Invasion of the Sand People and Star Wars Celebration Mishaps.
like our cousins who didn't even know you were popular in MMA, and I didn't even know. And then he was like, Tony was texting me and he's like, man, Brian's legit. I Googled him. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, do you have the right Brian? And then he's like, no, he's legit. I told you. And then he's all, does Tracy know when he told you? He's like, it's like, we don't even like, whatever,
Yeah, it's no, we don't. Any hobbies that I'm into, anything that I've been into, it's like I don't lead with that. It's just if it was something like super cool, I might mention an incident that I remember a time when I was doing this or whatever. But even I own part of a mixed martial arts company. When I was in magazines, I did all this. It's not like I would. It's kind of like that Al Bundy syndrome. Like he still talks about his 4 touchdowns in one game in high school. It's kind of like, no.
Like, what's his name from Cobra Kai?
Oh, who, Johnny? I used to be All Valley champ, man.
He's still stuck in the 80s.
I used to be All Valley. Yeah, I mean, even things, and I'm not saying that those things aren't cool, and those things aren't cool, but those things are just things you tell your kids,
Yeah.
You let me have
one. But
if
that's what some people's livelihood is.
Yeah, I guess.
Just be, like you said, just be careful because.
Well, if it's your livelihood, you got to treat it as if you're at work. That's what I'm saying. It's like the same level of professional acumen that you would have at work, you would have to treat with to your social media, and so you would have to watch everything you say. That there's things at work, people code switch all the time. When they go into the office, there's things that you're not going to say that you would say at home, right?
True, but then if they're public figures like that or want to be public or whatever, then they have to constantly watch what they do in public.
You're saying if that's their livelihood, then that's your livelihood. That's your job. Right. And so when you are out in the public, that's your job. Your job is being in the public. That's why there's a lot of depression in Hollywood. There's a lot of therapists make a lot of money. Yeah. I know when I was LCSW, licensed clinical social workers that work for the county, are making like, 80, 90 grand a year. And I know ones in Hollywood that are making $300,000 a year because celebrities, they need it more than some of the people, and they're willing to pay for therapy. So it is what it is, man. Just be careful out there. Again, I'm not taking sides. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we don't know what happened. We were just reading from what we read.
Yeah. All I know is that our Shadow Collective, Shadow Magic people, they're great, and
all cast members.
Yeah.
I didn't get the name of the security guard.
Well, maybe we'll see him again.
Well, he's at the trams, and we never take the trams. Maybe we will this weekend.
Well, maybe.
I'm going to go look for him.
We'll do another spotlight. All right. Now it's time for...
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. Mash some magic in your mouth.
Yes, as I said before, I will talk about the cookie butter churro sundae. If you see the pictures, it does look very sweet and decadent, but not at all. It's not that sweet. Because cookie butter, it looks like caramel, but it's not. It's not sweet. Not that sweet. Just imagine like peanut butter, I guess. So it's a sundae, and the ice cream is like cookie dough ice cream. So that part is kind of sweet, but then the cookie butter on top, and then the churro on the side, it was really good at the Golden Horseshoe. And the piano, the entertainment is back, so we got to eat that and watch and sing and play the piano, and we were in the AC, so that was really nice. My sister's never been inside there. She's like, "Whoa, this is nice. How come I didn't do this before?" Because it was like, hot outside. So we sat on the second story and, had the balcony seat and looked over. And so I'm like, well, on Saturdays, usually when you and I go on Saturdays, that place is packed. So I told her we're just lucky we got a seat today because it's a Tuesday. And, a lot of tourists don't know about that place. So
yeah. Well, I didn't taste it. Looks gross to me.
It's not. It's good. Trust me.
Trust you.
I'm going to get it again, and you have to eat it.
Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye.
Okay, Nick Fury. You're not Fury.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, if I'll... my sister only ate one spoon of it, and I ate the rest.
Exactly. Because she was
really,
like, ugh.
No, she said she gave it a 8 out of 10, I think.
Yeah. Then why did she only have like one?
Because she was eating the Impossible chili fries. Which she said, so far, all of the plant-based food at Disney she tried, she said it was good. She's not vegan or anything. She's just interested in trying fake meat. She's not vegan like that. No, I'm just kidding.
Not like that. All right. Now...
Disney. The Magic Band Plus is coming to Disneyland this fall. Today is fall.
Is it?
But you were asking me, and I was also wondering, like all of us West Coasters, how that's different from our phone. Why can't I just use my phone or my Apple Watch?
Yeah.
So, I'm sure Dole Float will explain to us.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have her on again.
Yeah, we gotta.
Because we have to learn how to use this thing, right? Are you going to let me buy one, or?
Dang, you sound like I'm a jailer.
Well, you are the almighty pass giver, so, and it is like $40. So, I mean,
you act like you don't make any money. I think if you really want it, the thing is you don't like spending money on stuff. The money that she thinks is non-essential, she leaves to me. That's what happened. It's not like she doesn't have $40 of her own money. She just wouldn't spend $40 of her own money, but she'll spend $40 of my money. So I don't want people to understand that.
Yes.
People act like, you're broke. You went to law school and have nothing.
I work for like a Fortune 10 company and I have nothing. This is how bad minimum wage is. Just kidding.
Making me sound bad. Yeah, but Dole Float needs to come
Maybe
on
we'll
and
have her
advocate for
back
this.
on the show to explain to us.
Yeah, explain why it makes any sense.
Supposedly it lights up with the...
I've seen it do that.
But we don't go to nighttime shows.
Yeah, I mean, even if we did, I don't know if I would even remember to bring it. We forget to bring fans when it's hot. I don't know.
Well, we would bring it as if it was a ticket, I guess. But I
guess, like the first time, but then...
But apparently at Disney World, it's like you have to have it. Not like you have to, but everybody has it. Like, remember when John took Kim?
Yeah, but those are back in the long ago days.
Yeah, but still, now it's like
That was like the second age of Middle Earth or something.
Because I see them scan it at the Fast Pass thing and the gate all the time, and so nobody takes out their phone, I guess.
Yeah, but they had more stuff. I mean, because there's like meal passes on it. There was like, you know, you could make the Fast Passes like 90 days in advance type of thing. I don't know if they have any of that stuff anymore. Yeah, so I don't know if Disney World today everyone has it.
But what would you use it at Disneyland for?
To show it.
And Genie Plus?
Show it off.
I guess if you bought Genie Plus?
Yeah, but
what
even
if you don't buy Genie Plus? What do you need it for?
But even if I have Genie Plus, I'm looking at the time on my phone already. Like,
yeah, but when it's time, you just go ping like that. Instead of, you know how I'm trying to like load everything and get the barcode.
Yeah, and then I think this is going to cause a bigger log jam. Like,
no, it's faster.
No, because what happens is that people are constantly standing in front of the lightning lanes trying to get in because they think they have the right time and they don't. So as soon as they hit the wrist thing and it doesn't turn green, they're going to go to their phone. No, believe me, I have the right time. You know, it's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
No. It says 11 o'clock on your phone. Oh, sorry. Meanwhile, there's 100 people behind them. If they have their phone out, at least they make that mistake and they can show them right away.
Dolaflow, just tell us what to do.
Trust me, I've done logistics for a long time.
I don't know. Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Dolaflow needs to get on and defend this monstrosity.
Or is it like those things? Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the other thing is Randall Park is returning as Agent Jimmy Woo in Ant-Man Quantumania.
And everybody loves Jimmy Woo.
And the other girl?
Darcy. Yeah. They honestly, I still think they need a show. It should be just their show.
Just like Wong and Madison. Needs a show.
They could all full have a show. It could be like the new, like Marvel's version of Friends. I would love to write for that show. It'd
one from great. NorCal, one from SoCal.
Yeah. NorCal, SoCal. I'm Madison with a Y, but she won't guess where it is. Yeah. And then Darcy would be annoyed with her constantly, but they end up becoming friends as they travel the multiverse.
That's funny.
And who's the greater magician? The one actual sorcerer or Jimmy Woo with his card tricks?
Yes.
You could the show writes itself.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like Wong trying to like do some spell to get into like a ancient vault and then Jimmy Woo does it with like a lockpick and a card trick and something. He gets in.
Well, that's like Darcy and Madison. Darcy's like this
super scientist,
physicist, like, whatever, and then PhD, Madison's just like
party
can't
girl.
You just do it this way, and then it works. It's kind of like Legally Blonde. Whoa, like it's hard. Like,
that show would be because they MCU is. Especially with Disney Plus, it's experimenting with different genres, and they already did kind of like the Twilight Zone with WandaVision. Mm-hmm. Now they're doing like more horror, like 30s horror with Werewolf by Night and stuff. They need to have a sitcom.
Yeah.
This would be the greatest sitcom. I would stay up to watch that more than She-Hulk. Yeah.
Anyways.
Make it happen. Feige, make it happen.
Disney released a trailer for its upcoming new Disney animated feature film called Strange World. Mm-hmm. And it's voiced by Jake Gyllenhaal, Dennis Quaid, Gabrielle Union, Lucy Liu, and Jabuki Young White. He's probably new. So these are all-star cast, but it's a new Disney movie coming out. Well, animated.
We'll see. Yeah. That's a lot of money in star power. So.
Yeah, but Disney, I guess Encanto was their last movie, huh? Animated. Yeah.
Was Turning Red before or after that? I don't know.
Oh, maybe Turning Red. I don't know. Anyways. So also, Small World will be closing October 24th through November 10th for the holiday.
Is Pinocchio technically animated? Yeah, that's fine.
No. Well, it's another Disney...
Oh, yeah.
Animated. Pinocchio's live action.
Kind of, yeah.
So it goes along with, Encanto, Frozen, all that stuff. Yeah. It's just not a princess type movie. So, Small World is closing for those few weeks. It'll reopen November 10th, and it'll have all the Christmas stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we found something funny. I'm sure you all heard about the kid who was snuck into Disney World. I just showed Brian the video, and it was kind of hilarious.
People totally snitched on him.
I know. It's like, man. But that was cool. It was cool because it's like a magic trick. So it was like a stroller. They came through in a stroller. It looked like a baby in there.
Mm-hmm.
Totally looked like a baby. And then the kid was sucking her thumb and everything. So, like a little baby. Mm-hmm. But then you go through the stroller, and then once they went through, somebody behind them snitched on them because they filmed the whole video. And you could see them trying to be discreet. Mm-hmm. And then they took it out, and it ends up being like a blanket or something. It was like a magic show. The kid just stands up, and she's like, I don't know, 4 feet tall.
It's like someone pulling like the scarves that keep coming out.
Yeah, like that.
The baby
like the Mary Poppins
kid kept
bag.
getting taller and taller.
Yeah, like the Mary Poppins bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is what it is. I would be totally embarrassed to have my kid and get thrown out of Disney.
Oh,
with
I know.
a kid. You know what I mean? Like you have your daughter there, and then you sneak her in, and then they catch you and they throw you out. You promised her a day at Disney.
Well, that did happen where a mom was thrown out and banned. Mm-hmm. And I heard the story on BuzzFeed, and the couple was there telling the story. This happened a few years ago. And she was telling the story of how it was the couple and their 2 kids. And 2 little kids, and he was in line for Pirates. And she figured, the line looks long. Why don't you all stand in line? I'm going to go get some macaroons at Jolly Holiday. I'll be right back. And then he calls her. He's like, oh my gosh, it's moving fast. Come back. She's like, all right, I'll come back. So she was walking back. And then he's like, where are you? I'm like literally going to get on the ride. She's like, I'm coming. I'm in line. She gets through, and they let him. He's like, and instead of like, and he's like, when they were telling the story, he's like, okay, stupid me. I should have just waited and let people go in front of me. Mm-hmm. Instead, I'm like, well, you're not here yet. Okay, I'm just going to go on the boat without you. So he went on the boat with his kids, and then she comes running in, and she asked the cast member, hey, my kids are right there. My family's right there. Can I just hop on? They're like, go ahead. But that cast member didn't tell the boat cast member. So the boat was already moving. And so she's like, I don't know. I could have just stood there and let my family go on the ride. But instead, in the moment, I just did that whole thing where I jumped on a moving boat. And there I can hear behind me, ma'am. And it's like, I just thought, whoa, I made it. I jumped on the boat. Hey, kids. And then the whole time he's like, what did you just do? And she's like, what did I just do? And then the whole ride, she was scared. So they get back. Mm-hmm. She told her husband, give me your sled. Okay, her husband's this big black guy with pink hair. So she's like,
what?
So that's like, there's no way they're not going to know who we are. Because you have pink hair, you're a big black guy. He's like, yeah, why did you do that? And then so she's like, all right, well, let me just borrow your sweatshirt. Maybe they won't recognize me. He's like, hello? Like, I'm a big black guy with pink hair. So anyways. They stopped the ride. They closed the ride. You know how when they closed Space Mountain and you saw all these empty cars go through? Mm. They stopped it to let all these empty boats go through just so they can look for her. So they finally stopped and they saw that, oh man, the ride's closed. And she thought, is it closed for me? And then there were a whole bunch of security guards there, but then she just like walked and her husband's like, just keep walking, keep walking. So she made it out. So they stopped her husband because he's the big black guy with pink hair. So they recognized him. So they stopped him and she kept walking and she's like, hey, where's my family? So she walks back to look for her family. And yes, in front of her kids, they said that she was going to get banned. They took her pass away. Back then they had the card pass. Mm-hmm. Give me your pass. And then she tried to be like, but I'm really sorry. That was stupid. And he's like, ma'am, did you know you jumped onto a moving ride? You can't do that. She's like, but my kids. And they're like, oh, your kids are fine. They can keep their passes. You got to give me your pass. She was banned. So she had to leave the park right away. And so I could see in the video in the car, she's like, in the car, I apologize to my kids. They're like, that's okay, mommy. We'll just go without you. So yes, they were annual pass holders because they lived 10 minutes away, but she got banned for like a year. And then
That's not bad.
Yeah, the following year they tried it when their passes like expired. Her husband and kids' pass expired. She tried to buy it, and she's like, well, "Let me see if I could buy it." And then the transaction went through, and so she was good.
So
but yes, somebody did tell the story of them getting banned from Disney in front of their kids.
Well, with that, funny thing, I'm always worried about you getting banned. You having a temper.
I always remind myself, be nice to cast members.
Yeah, you never get mad at cast members. You just get mad at the air. All right. Well, again, if you see us this Saturday, we have that Disney Princess wallet. So the first one to come up and snatch us, don't grab us too hard.
Don't be like that lady.
I know. Don't jump on a moving boat to catch us.
We'll wait for you.
We'll wait for you. Yeah. I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.